The chapel was silent. 50 people. Designer black suits. Hats with veils. Not one of them would look at the podium. My grandfather built a 9-figure empire from a used car lot and a dream. He changed lives, gave jobs, raised me when no one else would. And no one, not one person, would give his eulogy. So I did. I walked up to that podium. I talked about the man who taught me chess and ethics and how to read a balance sheet. I talked about Sunday dinners and handwritten birthday cards. 3 minutes. That's all it took. When I stepped down, his lawyer was waiting at the end of the aisle. His hand on my shoulder. He said you'd be the only one. He handed me an envelope, thick, cream-colored, my name in Grandpa's handwriting. Across the seal, one line, open only after you speak. Why would a man worth that much money leave instructions around a funeral speech? I didn't know yet, but I was about to find out. Drop your country and the time in the comments. Let's see who's up late with me on this one. And hit subscribe. You're going to want to see where this goes. I need to take you back. I was 8 when my parents died. Car accident. Black ice. Gone in seconds. Most of my extended family lived within 20 miles. But when the social worker made calls, every line went to voicemail. Except one. Grandpa. He picked up on the first ring. Told them to bring me to the estate. I remember standing at the gate with a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle suitcase. He crouched down, looked me in the eye, and said one thing. You're home now. Uncle Ron, Grandpa's oldest son, called 2 days later. I heard it through the office door. We just don't have the space, Dad. You understand. Grandpa did understand. He understood exactly who his kids were. So he raised me, taught me chess on Sunday mornings, showed me ledgers and cash flow. Every birthday, a handwritten card. Every milestone, a voicemail I saved. When I turned 16, the family came back. Grandpa's company had gone public. Suddenly there were board seats to fill. Holidays to attend. Photo ops. I stayed quiet. I visited every week. College, then career, didn't matter. Every Sunday I showed up. The rest of them? Holidays and board votes. Grandpa used to say paper beats memory in court. I kept everything. Every card. Every letter. Every visitor log I signed at the estate gate. I didn't know why. I was about to. The reception was at the estate. People I hadn't seen in years were drinking Grandpa's scotch and talking about his legacy, as if they'd been part of it. I was in the study when Uncle Ron found me. He shut the door. Aunt Claire followed. Ron didn't waste time. The lawyer read the will this morning. I nodded. You're getting controlling stake. 51%. Plus the estate. I know. His jaw tightened. You can't seriously think you're keeping all of it. It's what he wanted. Claire stepped closer. Her voice was ice. He wasn't in his right mind. You know that. He was sharper than both of you until the day he died. Ron slid a piece of paper across Grandpa's desk. Handwritten. Legal terms I recognized. Sign this. You keep 11%. We take 40. Enough to honor his intent without making this ugly. I looked at the paper. Then at him. No. Excuse me? You heard me. Claire's smile was thin and sharp. Then we'll contest. Undue influence, isolation, a vulnerable old man and his little project. Do what you need to do. Ron stood, straightened his tie. You just made this ugly. The door slammed so hard a picture frame fell off the wall. I picked it up. It was me and Grandpa, age 10, his arm around my shoulder. Claire's voice echoed in the hallway. Enjoy it while it lasts. 2 weeks later, I got served. Coffee shop. 10 in the morning. Process server walked right up to my table. The barista watched the whole thing. Petition to contest the will. I read it in my car. The words made me sick. Exploited a vulnerable, declining man for financial gain. Isolated decedent from his children through manipulation and undue influence. They'd hired a white shoe litigation firm. The kind with marble lobbies and partner names that sound like law schools. And they'd filed an emergency motion to freeze all estate distributions. I couldn't touch a dime. My lawyer was a solo estate guy, Sweet man, zero courtroom experience. He looked at the petition and went pale. They have resources. This could drag out for years. And the optics, he didn't finish. He didn't have to. That night I sat in Grandpa's study. My study now. Supposedly. I put my head in my hands. Local news had already picked it up. Headline: Billionaire's grandchild accused of elder manipulation. The comments were brutal. I thought I'd lost before I'd even started. But then I remembered something. Grandpa had taught me a long time ago. Paper beats memory, and I had a lot of paper. I went to the attic. Time to fight back. The attic smelled like old paper and cedar. I found the shoebox in the back corner. 15 years of birthday cards. Stacked in order. I opened the first one. My 9th birthday. Keep your chin up. You're tougher than you think. Love, Grandpa. I kept reading. Age 12. Proud of the science project. The board doesn't see what I see, but they will. Age 16. You ask the right questions today. That's harder than knowing answers. Every card was personal, detailed, lucid. He wasn't declining. He was present. Year after year after year. And then I got to the last one. 4 months before he died. My hand shook as I read it. You've been the only constant. They'll come for the money. Don't let them rewrite our story. He knew exactly what would happen. I scanned every card, time-stamped the files, sent them to my lawyer as Exhibit A. He called me an hour later. This is good, very good. It proves relationship and capacity. But they'll say you coerced him. We need more. I looked at the rest of the attic. Boxes and boxes. Then we'll find more. The letters were just the beginning. I had something they didn't even know existed. Ron and Claire went nuclear. 3 days after I filed the cards, a tabloid ran a story. Grandchild who disappeared family now controls billion-dollar empire. The article quoted sources close to the family. It painted me as a manipulator who cut them off and poisoned Grandpa's mind. Then came the affidavit. A former housekeeper. Sworn statement. The grandchild frequently kept visitors away. The decedent became increasingly isolated. I knew her. Grandpa had fired her 5 years earlier for stealing jewelry. But the affidavit didn't mention that. Ron did a TV interview, played the grieving son, said he just wanted to honor his father's real wishes. My phone wouldn't stop. Friends asking if it was true. Strangers sending hate messages. The estate was frozen. I couldn't access money even for legal fees. My solo lawyer called. We need a litigator. Someone who can fight. I'm not built for war. How much? Retainers $30,000. And we need it fast. I didn't have $30,000 in my account, so I pawned the watch Grandpa gave me for my college graduation. It bought me a fighter. And just in time, preliminary hearing was in 1 week. I had one more receipt, the one they never saw coming. My new lawyer didn't mess around. We need visitor logs. Security footage if it exists, medical records. I called the estate security company. They'd been logging every entry for a decade. I also called the private clinic where Grandpa went every month. He was paranoid about cognitive decline, tracked it religiously. Both released records under executor authority. When the files came through, I sat in silence. The visitor logs were devastating. 3-year period. 214 visits. My name, Uncle Ron, 6 visits. Aunt Claire, 3. 2 of hers were for board meetings held at the estate. She didn't even come to see him. Then the medical records. Grandpa's neurologist had been tracking him since his 65th birthday. Monthly cognitive tests. The final assessment, 1 month before he died, was clear. Patient remains cognitively intact. Messy 29 out of 30. Legally competent. No signs of undue influence or impairment. 29 out of 30. My lawyer looked at the spreadsheet and the medical letter. This ends their case. But let's make sure they feel it. I smiled for the first time in 2 weeks. Grandpa had been building my defense for years. He knew they'd come, and he made sure I'd win. I didn't understand why they were fighting so hard. 51% versus nothing is a big gap. But Ron and Claire weren't broke. They had income, properties, or so I thought. My litigation team ran financials, public filings, credit reports. An investigator pulled what he could. The report landed on my desk 2 days before the hearing. Uncle Ron's commercial real estate company was $4.2 million in debt. Personal guarantees. Foreclosure notices. The filing date? 2 weeks before Grandpa died. Aunt Claire's husband had defaulted on a yacht loan. Back taxes. An IRS lien for $780,000. They were underwater. And they'd been counting on Grandpa's death to bail them out. The family estate plan, before Grandpa changed it, would have split everything 50-50 between Ron and Claire. Millions. Liquid. Immediate. My inheritance shattered that. The contest wasn't about love or legacy or justice. It was survival. They didn't need to win on principle. They needed to win to keep their houses. I stared at the numbers. The foreclosure notice. The tax lien. I wasn't angry anymore. I was clear. Grandpa had seen this coming. He'd chosen the person who showed up over the ones who showed up only when they needed something. Now I knew exactly what to do. We met in a conference room the night before the hearing. Me, 2 attorneys. A paralegal, stacks of binders. My lead lawyer laid it out. We file a motion for summary judgment. Attach every receipt, visitor logs, medical records, the birthday cards, all of it. What about the housekeeper affidavit? We demand sanctions. She was fired for theft. We have the termination letter. Their lawyer didn't do his homework. I nodded. There's one more thing. He slid a tablet across the table. On the screen, a video file. Label, Testament Final. Your grandfather recorded this 6 months before he died. His attorney was present. A physician. It's a sworn video testament. He explains everything. My throat tightened. Have you watched it? Yes. What does he say? He says he knew they'd come for the money, and he wants you to play it in open court. Public record. No spin, no edits. I stared at the play button. Do you want to watch it first? I thought about it, then shook my head. No. If he wanted me to hear it in court, that's where I'll hear it. The lawyer smiled. Then we're ready. 48 hours later, I walked up the courthouse steps. I had 15 years of love in a binder, and a dead man's last words on a drive. The courtroom was packed. Probate doesn't usually draw a crowd. But this wasn't usual. Ron and Claire sat in the front row. Their attorney, sharp suit, confident smile, stood at the lectern. The judge called the matter. Their lawyer opened strong, painted me as a predator, a manipulator. Someone who'd taken advantage of a lonely, declining old man. Your Honor, the evidence will show isolation, control, and undue influence. The will should be set aside. The gallery murmured. Then my attorney stood. Your Honor, the evidence tells a different story. She nodded to the paralegal. First slide. Birthday cards. 15 years. Grandpa's handwriting. On the screen for everyone to see. These cards show a sustained, loving, highly detailed relationship. Written in the decedent's own hand, they demonstrate clear cognition and intent. Next slide. Visitor logs. Bar chart. 214 versus 9 total. Audible gasp from the gallery. The petitioners claim isolation. The security logs tell us who actually isolated themselves. Ron's lawyer stood. Objection. Logs can be overruled. Continue. Next slide. The neurologist appeared on a monitor. Testified remotely. I evaluated Mr. Harrison monthly for 8 years. His final assessment, 1 month before death, showed full cognitive capacity. Messy 29 out of 30. No impairment. No evidence of coercion. Claire stared at the floor. Then my attorney played the video. The courtroom went silent. Grandpa appeared on the screen, seated in his study, flanked by his lawyer and his doctor. He looked directly into the camera. My name is William Harrison. Today is September 14th, 2022. I'm recording this of my own free will, in the presence of my attorney and my physician, to ensure my intentions are clear. He paused. I'm leaving control of my estate to my grandchild because they are the only person who showed up. Not for money, not for board seats, but because they cared. His voice was steady, calm. Ron, Claire, I love you. But love is not entitlement. You had decades to show up. You chose not to. My grandchild earned this. The screen went black. No one moved. The judge called a recess. 30 minutes later, she returned. The will is admitted to probate. The contest is dismissed with prejudice. Petitioners are ordered to pay respondents' attorney fees. We are adjourned. The gavel came down. I exhaled for the first time in an hour. Ron stared at the floor. Claire walked out without a word. I walked out of that courthouse with my name, my inheritance, and my grandfather's trust intact. Ron and Claire's legal fees topped $300,000. Their attorney withdrew a week after the judgment. Ron's real estate company filed Chapter 7 bankruptcy 2 months later. The foreclosure went through. Claire sold her house and moved to another state. Quietly. No goodbyes. I didn't gloat. I didn't pursue them further. But I also didn't let it go. I honored what Grandpa built. First, I established a foundation. The Second Chance Fund. For kids who lose their parents and need someone to show up. I endowed a scholarship in his name. I kept the family business running, but I brought in independent board members. People who earned their seats. And then I did something that surprised everyone. I wrote Ron and Claire a check. Not for millions, just enough to clear their tax debts and stabilize. I included a letter. Grandpa would want you stable, not destroyed. But we're done. Don't contact me again. I didn't sign it with love. I signed it with my name. They cashed the checks. I never heard from them. No thank you. No apology. I didn't expect one. A year later, I went back to the cemetery. I planted a tree next to Grandpa's headstone. Had a plaque made. It reads, "He showed up." So I did too. I stood there for a long time. The wind moved through the branches. And I swear I heard his voice. You earned this. Here's what I learned. Inheritance isn't about blood. It's about presence. You don't inherit what's owed to you. You inherit what you invest in. Grandpa didn't give me his empire because I was family. He gave it to me because I showed up. Every single week. For 15 years. Love isn't a noun. It's a verb. And receipts? Receipts are everything. So here's my question for you. What would you have done? Would you have given them anything? Or cut them off completely? Drop your honest answer in the comments. I read every one. If this story meant something to you, hit subscribe. There's more where this came from. And if you've got your own receipts, whether it's texts, emails, or old birthday cards, keep them. You never know when they'll save you. One last thing. This story is a fictionalized dramatization. It's not legal or financial advice. If you're dealing with estate issues or family conflict, talk to a real attorney in your area. But keep your receipts. Always keep your receipts.